Elijah Clayton lifted the steaming mug to his mouth and pretended to take a drink of his cafe latte, despite the awful stench assaulting his nasal passages. Caffeine wouldn't give him the confidence or the courage he needed. Not even a new suit and tie had nudged him in that direction. This is stupid. I should just go home and...
Welcome!
A woman with blood-red lipstick offered her hand and a too-white smile. The clipboard tucked under her left arm triggered a cold sweat across the back of his neck.
Let's get you checked in for the interviews. Name?
He toyed with the idea of saying he wasn't registered for anything, but that wasn't an option. Not if he intended to keep his promise. Elijah 34. Elijah M. Clayton Jr. After a brisk shake of his hand, the woman ran her finger along the spreadsheet secured under the clip. The tap of her polished nail near the bottom of the page made his stomach twist.
Here's your packet. Place your name tag on the left side of your jacket where it's visible. The note cards are for interview questions and notes, and please review the rules page. The candidates are listed at the top with first names only and age as they were on the website. Pen?
He swallowed past the parched desert in his throat as he took the packet she handed him. No, thanks, I have one.
Excellent. Your first interview is at table 9.
She pointed toward the far end of the coffeehouse/indie bookstore's meeting space.
Then you move down to table 10, up to this end to table 1, and so on. The timer will be set for 6 minutes. At the end of interviews, we'll have some mix and mingle time for those who think they found potential candidates. Good luck!
As she turned toward a new arrival, Eli set his mug on the long bar and forced a calming breath. I can do this. I have to do this. The clock was ticking, and too soon it would stop. He peeled the paper from the name tag as he reviewed the rules. With limited time at each table, he had to make his questions and answers count. Hopefully, his practical nature would serve him well. He positioned the pre-printed label with his first name and age on his jacket, careful to align it within the edges of the lapel. Voices carried from beyond the room, scrambling what little supper he'd eaten, and the hostess gestured for the group to enter. This is it. A line of professionally dressed women walked single file through the wide doorway and straight for the row of tables. An invisible cloud of estrogen followed them, permeating the room and settling in his lungs. Stay focused. Inhale. Exhale. The man next to him let out a low whistle and leaned closer.
Damn, we hit the jackpot tonight. You ever been to one of these before?
Grateful for the grammatical distraction, Eli shook his head and grabbed his coffee. A sip or two couldn't hurt, could it? With the first taste, a shudder rippled through him as he fought his gag reflex. He grabbed for a cocktail napkin and covered his mouth, struggling to maintain control of his body.
Hey, you all right, buddy?
Embarrassment warmed his cheeks, but Eli nodded and faked a cough. Arr! Rule number 4. Don't correct people's grammar unnecessarily. Went down the wrong way. The man snickered.
I don't blame you for choking. Did you see the legs on the blonde in the red skirt? I wouldn't mind going home to that every night.
At a loss for how to respond, Eli patted his pants pockets in search of his keys. The chance to escape proved temptation enough to make him abandon his plan, at least in this context, and forfeit the registration fee. How far was the closest exit?
May I have your attention, please?
The woman with the clipboard now stood near the center of the room with a microphone.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Professionals Assisted Introductions to Dating thanks you for joining us this evening. I know you're anxious to begin the interviews, so, gentlemen, please go to the first table you've been assigned to. The timer will start as soon as everyone finds their seats.
PAID. Suitable acronym. And it should be to which you've been assigned. Eli willed his legs to carry him to table 9. The reminder of how much he doled out to participate in this civilized version of speed dating was sufficient incentive to make the best of the situation. Leaving now would only draw attention to him, and the worst that could happen was he wouldn't meet his future wife. He unbuttoned his suit coat as he sat across from the first potential Mrs. Clayton.